Hi and welcome to this auto-emotional presentation for an absolutely stunning Hummer H3. This particular vehicle, as you can see, really does pop with its chrome accents and that lush red paint that you can see in absolutely brilliant order. These cars are very well sought after since the Hummer company has built these vehicles in somewhat limited numbers, and they're really picking up their following, especially here in the Middle East, where these huge engines really are a matter of choice when it comes to cruising, fuel not being an issue. These cars really do have a lot of things going for them, more than just that butch exterior. The particular car that we're looking at really will give you a fair few surprises in terms of not only performance of the lights, but as well as that in terms of the fuel efficiency. Now, it's not the common thing to propose that a Hummer, regardless be it a H1, H2, H3, has got excellent fuel efficiency, but this particular car on about 110 dirhams will return you on average 400 plus kilometers. Now, for a car that makes you feel as though you're sitting inside a very thick-walled safe, really that's an absolute credit to the vehicle. The engineering, the simplicity of it, including such elements such as the leaf springs that you can see here on the rear, mean that you don't have any issues with the complicated up and down suspension of say the Mercedes GL that always is causing problems with the concertinaed airbag system, as well as that on the SLs and the CLs, where they have the suspension that can be tricked out on the touch of a button, which sounds very well, but what you actually need here in the Middle East is a car that is robust, that is reliable, that does turn heads, because that's part of the charm of being out here, and I think this does it so well. You've of course got the massive rings up front here, which just signifies the torque and the pulling power on this stunning Hummer H3. You've got the louvered bonnet vent that allows for that brilliant engine to breathe and to allow all of the power to come out. The Firestone Destination Elite tyres wrapping round these original Hummer alloys. Great amount of tread here, and you can see the amount of clearance on these wheels is phenomenal. So taking it off-road is not an issue whatsoever. This particular vehicle, we don't feel has had any sort of off-road experience, unfortunately, so its new owner really will be able to experience it in its absolute glory. Full electrics throughout, of course, windows, mirrors, so on and so forth, which will all be demonstrated. But the cabin itself, the two-tone, really coming through. Very small mark there on the driver's seat, I'm sure can come out, if not totally, in a majority of it. You've got that roof lining in very good order, all of which has been kept in a very good, clean condition. And again, this Hummer H3 being advertised more to do with practicality than the image it portrays, which is why we've actually left these child seats in that demonstrates just how well this car copes with the average family here, and really allows you such great space and versatility. It's just not what the car was originally advertised for, but really has come into fruition. These color coordinated DVD headrest monitors means that the little ones in the rear get their own DVD movies at the touch of a button, which keeps them very quiet and very safe. The lockable and removable Hummer factory fitted cross rails, and again, from any angle really, the car really does shout out move from those flared arches, both front and rear, and lots of the chiseled lines that the guys who designed these vehicles came up with, means that it's just such a brilliant shape, unmistakable. That third level brake light, rear wash wiper, you've got huge opening here, which allows for as many items as you can imagine getting into the back of these sort of spaces. You've got split folding rear seat, 60/40, which means you can have 3 passengers and still a lot of luggage area, and with both seats down it really does command a huge amount of space. Lots of the ancillaries and tools, all original in their little cubby hole here. Flip up the little plastic lids and you've got storage bin on the left side and storage bin on the right. Very good materials here in the boot area. You can just wipe them down with a damp cloth. It's a vehicle that's made for pulling and pushing and cruising down the side road with such ease that the weight of the car isn't so much compared to the actual look of it. You'd expect it to weigh a lot more, yet that engine can really just shift this vehicle along. It's such a beautiful, beautiful pace, and again the clearance on this, it's far bigger than my hand can stretch. Really just a well specced out vehicle that kind of ticks all the boxes for what you want for motoring in the Middle East. Again, those twin DVD color coordinated headrests and the practicality of the rear cabin just being demonstrated here. And the cockpit itself really is makes for a brilliant place for the driver to be. Very engaging drive, and you really do feel the build quality of these vehicles, the thickness of the door, the sound when they're closed, the trunk, the boot lid, everything really does make for a car that feels just so solid, and of course being exceptionally safe. Airbags galore throughout these particular cars. Entering the vehicle via the remote central locking that locks and unlocks the car, of course. It's not a high or hard vehicle to step up into, which means it's practical for everyone, yet it gives you a huge amount of space. We'll start off by the AC because we're on a very hot day here in the Middle East, and I do want to crank it up even while I'm sitting in here. You might not be able to feel it, but most certainly you will be able to hear the cold air blowing through there, starting with the unlock and lock of the doors. And you can just see as I press that, it flips open the door handle. Electric mirrors, of course, that being the drivers and that being the passengers. Electric mirrors, electric windows, excuse me, with that light tint, but that does give you an indication of how much more shaded you are on the inside of this particular vehicle. Then you've also got the auto lights, which is a very handy feature, so you just keep it on that one dial whenever you're driving in and out of tunnels and so on and so forth, coming into your car parking area. It illuminates for yourself very, very easily and very quickly. You've also got front fogs, and you can adjust the amount of light coming through on the actual binnacle there from that little toggle switch. Of course, steering wheel is adjustable, and a simple press of this button will engage the cruise control. It really is a lovely feature. Just hit that magic 100 mark and touch the button, take a foot off the pedal, and it just absolutely glides. Very low mileage of just 1111, and we nearly had the 11 there as well. Of course, that power adjustable steering with a built-in airbag and that loud and proud H3 badge makes for a great driving position. Of course, you can just see, even from the camera, you can gauge just how big and solid this car is, yet very, very nimble on the roads. And again, with that amazing fuel efficiency, Hummer really did do a masterpiece of engineering when it came to this car. You've of course got all the locks for the four-wheel drive. You can even turn the ESP off if you want to have a bit of fun. And this particular model has been upgraded to, of course, incorporate those rear DVD headrests. It means if you put a DVD in here, it pops up on all 3 screens unless you press GPS, and then you're going to get the navigation coming up front. And in itself, it's just a brilliant machine. Touchscreen, find places, you know, parking around here. It's so intuitive. Yet the vehicle itself has just got a huge amount of functions: Bluetooth, radio, iPod, USB capabilities. You can set it up, you can view pictures, and of course, back down to that, main GPS screen, which will show you on the very large map. And another lovely feature is as soon as you engage the reverse, you get the back camera that pops up there, giving you a very nice and bright image of what's going on behind you. Of course, that ice cold air conditioning, lots of ancillaries for your charging, and that super smooth gearbox, cup holders and armrest galore, as well as a fire extinguisher. These cars really are just built so well. I'm telling you, even that the doors are open. Just a very well specced out vehicle. We don't foresee this car being for sale with us for a long time, as we're quite confident as soon as it will go up that the word will spread that there's a very low mileage, high spec example of a very practical, fuel efficient, well built, well designed vehicle available. If there's any questions or queries and requests for a test drive, we'll be more than happy to address them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this presentation by Automotion.